All right. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here today. So could you start by filling us in with your name and your position?
Yes, I'm Shannon Kimball-Auth, and I'm with the Community Adaptation Program of the American Red Cross, but I'm here today specifically as the chair of the Lake County COAD.
And that's a new development. I mean, it's a fairly new organization in Lake County, I believe, right? A couple years.
Yes. We've been trying to start the COAD since 2015, which is, of course, when we met.
Yes.
And it's gone through various attempts that have worked better or for worse, but nothing that has really coalesced. But now we have more than 30 agencies that are part of the COAD, and we now have 2 successful fire responses, as well as a resilience hub network of 10 resilience hubs that activated for extreme heat. So we really have tested the relationships and our capacity to function as a COAD just this year in ways that we haven't done since 2015.
That is awesome to hear. Those are some great ways that you've put it right into practice.
Yes.
So what was your intention for being here at the conference today?
So my intent for being at the conference was to see how the Lake County COAD can interact with the Northern California COAD. And many of those partnerships they're people that we already know. Like, you were present in Lake County for the Valley Fire, so I've known you since 2015. But there are other partners that I don't know. And so the idea was that I would be able to come to the Northern California VOAD and see if this is something that we need to be better connected to as our county COAD.
And have you found anything of value that you'd like to share so far?
Well, I think my favorite thing, honestly, so far was that video. We have so many people that, because the COAD, even when we've had a COAD in Lake County, it hasn't really functioned well. So people don't understand what the strength and the benefit of the COAD can be. We have some partners that are still sort of on the fence about the benefit to the county as a whole. And I feel like that 5-minute video is just such a great explanation of what we do, particularly for the county partners.
Exactly. Yeah, it shows the county interacting
Yes.
with the community-based organizations and the COAD, and yeah, I think it's a great representation.
So I loved it. And it's funny, I'm seated at a table with all Red Cross people, none of whom I've met more than once before, some of whom I've never met before. So even with my own agency, it's a great opportunity to just meet people that are doing different parts of disaster response.
Wow, that is awesome. So you've also mentioned that you've known Hope Crisis Response Network since
Yes.
2015. So just a little bit, can you share a little bit about our relationship and how that's gone even the last year we've interacted again?
We have. What I love about Hope Crisis Network is that you provide things that the community needs. I kind of had in my brain that you did one thing, but actually you do what is needed, which is a great COAD model. So in 2015, Hope City was there building houses. In the Boyles Fire last month, Hope City was there doing registration and helping us have a single platform for case management. I didn't even know that Hope City did that. Or Hope Crisis Network, HCRN. It's all the acronym things. But the real lesson was that the work of HCRN is broader because the need in the community is broader, and you're not trying to do the same thing everywhere, but really what is needed. And actually, it was HCRN that started us trying to communicate with agencies that are doing 3D printed housing. Mm-hmm. Because Kevin was involved up in, after the Camp Fire, the one house that did get built pretty quickly. And so we're looking at what can we do to increase climate adapted fire resilient housing in Lake County, because we still have not built back from the Valley Fire, and we've had additional fires since then. So we're about 50% of the way built back from that fire, not even counting these additional fires. So looking at what those potentials for rebuild are.
Yeah,
that's good.
Which is a great point as well, is that talk about recovery is a marathon and not a sprint. When we look at how far or how difficult it is for rural counties like Lake County that are less, have less of just a lot of things, right?
Yes.
And need more help as the recovery goes on.
Right, because we don't have all of the things in place. We don't have enough inspection. We don't have enough contractors. We don't have enough insurance. We have inadequate unmet needs tables happening. And each fire is not its own thing. Each fire builds upon the poverty that the previous fire already exacerbated. And so working through those processes has been difficult. What I will say, one thing, and Hope City HCRN has been a part of this, that we learned in 2015 was to collaborate. Absolutely. So even when the co-ed wasn't working, we had partners that were coming together to do that work, even when the systems didn't support it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate all that you've put into the conference, but can you begin by sharing your name and a couple of your positions?
Okay, so Valerie Brown, I'm the Deputy Executive Director of United Policyholders. I am on my 8th year of San Diego VOAD president for way down south. And I have been on the NorCal VOAD board for about 4 years now. And then my other new hat is I am running as the program director for a disaster case management program for the San Diego January 2024 floods.
Okay.
So I'm standing up a program there.
Yes, and you're keeping very busy, I would say, with all your different
Copious
hats.
free time, yeah, lots of hats. Yeah.
Well, so we're here today at the California Voluntary Organizations Active in Disaster Conference. And so as we think about this conference, what is one of the goals that you had for this conference?
I think the biggest goal was just getting people comfortable with the fact that they all look different because our communities are different, and having that understanding that what you're doing is creating a framework for your community to prepare and respond and recover from disaster, and by pulling this plurality of voices into the space, we're really able to show people there is no right answer. There's no one-stop shop that exists to come in and save the day. You're going to put that puzzle together yourself. And that was my goal for pulling this, making this happen, is that we were going to socialize that idea that there is no one true way, and give everybody the confidence to do it, because it when you look at it, it feels overwhelming because you feel like everybody is depending on you. That's not the case. Most of them don't even know VOAD exists, right? In your county, most people don't know VOAD exists. However, when they find out about you, it's like VOAD is going to solve every problem. No, VOAD is a framework to solve problems and problem solve, and getting people comfortable with that so that they invest the time and the relationships to pull this together for their community was key to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the keynote speaker definitely worked on that, as he talks about disruptions and really tailoring things to what fits for you,
right,
and your community. And so because every disaster is local, we can say a lot of things, but the flood that you're working on in San Diego is so different from
any flood I've seen in California. Yeah. It's in the middle of an urban center and in the area that government caused the flood by not cleaning storm canals, channels. And these are people who never would have expected in the heart of the city to be impacted by a disaster. And yet some people had 10 feet of water in their home.
Yeah, which is just unbelievable. It's like hurricane flood.
Yeah. But we're, we get 11 inches of rain in a year, not in 4 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So any valuable insights that you've gained already?
I think the biggest takeaway from Monday and today's presentation is just understanding and having that cultural competency in your community to know what those unique needs are in your community, be it access and functional needs, immigrant populations, English as a second language, transportation challenges, seniors, hearing aids, whatever those are. Having that lens when you're putting together your planning is going to pay dividends. It's not something that I think we think plans, not accessibility to the plans. And so that's one of the takeaways that I had.
Yeah, that's a good one. And can you talk a little bit about your relationship with Hope Crisis Response Network?
Yes. So I am vice chair under Kevin, who is our chair for NorCal VOAD. And then with that disaster case management program I'm running in San Diego, we are actually subcontracting with HCRN to provide what is our construction cost analyst, but basically to run our volunteer repair program. And so we have your team now on site providing volunteer coordination of teams from across the country and working with locals and providing that construction supervision to be able to do the repairs. So right now we have 40-some volunteers from all across the country who drove and flew out, and they are spending a week working on 8 houses.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
That's awesome. So thank you so
Thank you.
much. I appreciate you sharing today.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Well, thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. If you could introduce yourself and your partner here and tell us who you work or serve with.
My name is Lee Grayson, and I'm the Northern California Area Coordinator for HOPE Animal Assistance Crisis Response. And this is my partner, Minnie, and she does all the work.
Yes, she does. She just pulls all of us in. So tell us a little bit about what your agency provides.
Yes, so our animals are actually considered working dogs, like police dogs or other canines like that. So they can go anywhere with us. They travel by trains, planes, boats, cars, and we go wherever crisis invites us to come and serve. We're not first responders, but we provide emotional support for victims and individuals who are experiencing a crisis or a devastation of some kind.
And during the conference earlier, you mentioned that they have to go through pretty extensive training.
They do. Our animals start out as therapy dogs, and after they've had a year of therapy training and therapy work in hospitals, airports, and a variety of places, then they can be screened and trained as crisis animals.
And what do you see in survivors when you bring Minnie in?
So we can see individuals who run the gamut of emotions. They can be angry, they can be frustrated, they can be shut down and in tears. And as soon as Minnie comes up to them, the vast majority of them just relax. They smile. We say we actually provide smiles in crisis situations.
I like that. So as part of this conference, did you have a goal coming in today?
My biggest goal was to introduce Minnie and the program to all of the members of VOAD. The more we're integrated with groups like that, they're the individuals who invite us, and we never come unasked. We always are specifically requested, and we come at the appropriate time.
Yeah, and actually you've worked with Hope Crisis Response Network a couple of times this
Yes.
last year. We've seen you and Minnie, and so I don't know, can you speak to our cooperation as well?
Yes, I originally was on a VOAD Zoom, and that's where I first met your husband, Kevin. And then when Minnie and I responded after the fires up in Red Bluff area, we met you there, and then we responded sometime later to the fires in Clear Lake area. And both times we were responding and helping out at the local assistance center.
Yeah, absolutely. So you and Minnie are some of my favorite disaster service workers, just because who doesn't love this little face, huh?
She really does do all the work. I just hold the leash.
Yeah, she really is. So it's amazing how calm and just connected she is to the people that you encounter.
Temperament is a big part of the dogs that we accept into the program.
Okay.
All
Anything else you'd like to mention?
No, I think that covers pretty much everything. We are a 401(c), and Hope has been a part of disaster response for 25 years now, and we are throughout the U.S., including Alaska and Hawaii, and up into Canada.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today and sharing your story.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.